Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Dish Nation is one of the biggest names in the comedy game, and she about to go to new astronomical heights. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for our sister one time.
Hey!
Baby.
More classy, more sassy.
Man,
MoNique.
You take it way back.
Way back. You told me
Way
get nothing.
back.
Come on, you my sister. That's what we. Man,
That
we
was
go.
the first intro.
More classy, more sassy,
Yes,
MoNique.
indeed,
Yes,
baby.
sir.
and yo, it was funny, like Ricky posted something the other day on Instagram, like back in the day. I guess I was doing a show called Snaps.
HBO Snaps.
Yo, y'all was raw.
That was the first wilding out
That was the first.
Okay.
That
Right.
was the first.
in a
And
boxing ring.
We were kids, baby. We were these little kids. I remember standing in the back. We were all like, all right, let's go get him. Let's go get him.
It's Tracy Morgan and MoNique. Chill. This is my baby mother. Only I do that. Mo, your mom's so old, she knew the honeycomb bear when he was a Chicago Cub.
Nigga, please. Your mama's so old, the squirt powdered milk out of titties.
All right, she ain't taking no prisoners tonight.
Now, I owe Ricky an apology.
Really?
And I want to apologize to him right here on Dish Nation.
Right.
Because I have to give credit where credit is due, right? And I couldn't remember who gave me the powder in the hand, right? Okay? Because I know I damn sure didn't come up with it, but
Right,
somebody gave
right.
it to me. It was Rickey Smiley that gave that to me. I thought it was talent.
Right.
Ricky say, no, you ain't gonna take that.
Cause I had a
from me,
little
MoNique."
thing of that baby powder. I said,
How long I
give me your
walk around with
hand.
that powder?
She walked around with that baby powder in her hand for about an hour. I
Maybe
said,
I'm
MoNique.
surprised it squirted out. Ball up and clump.
I was like, give me your hand. I said, hold it. I said, when you do the joke, go right in his face. It's gonna kill. And she was
So,
ready.
It wasn't white chicks that came up with it. It was Rickey Smiley. So we
Bam.
want
Okay.
the powder in the hand. Yes.
But nobody could have executed better than MoNique, and she murdered it. It was like a shot heard around the world because that's the only joke that they remember from the whole thing.
That was so much
Oh,
fun.
absolutely.
And when I look back at it, I'm like, look at us. We were babies.
Yes.
And now we're in our 50s.
Yes, sir.
Now
I just
we're in
turned
our
50.
50s, baby.
Yeah.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
And look
you
at
look
all
good.
y'all though. Like, I mean, Tracy Morgan out here still killing.
Yes.
Talent still like traveling around the world.
Mike
Like,
Epps.
everybody
that
kept it
whole
going.
Group. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of
Samoa,
fun.
Adele, that whole group kept it going.
We from the 90s, baby. Represent. Brad, you too, you from the 90s?
Of course I am.
Absolutely. 90s rule.
Okay.
Best era for entertainment.
So, MoNique,
Okay.
being that old, how do y'all feel?
Oh.
I know you ain't talking.
He throwing shade.
Let me tell you something.
Right.
Girl, you ain't shading nobody. He ain't shading nobody
Is
because
that being
he's
that?
older.
Oh, right.
So maybe he can answer the question better than I. But I'm going to tell you, being 51, I'm at the best I've been in my life. And I still have a ways to go. But getting older, because when we were younger and you saw older people, like my mother to me at 50 was old. Everything about her was old. But for us, it seems like there's something different happening. And
Right.
I'm enjoying letting it happen. Like Gary said, MoNique, what you going to do with the gray hair? I'm going to let it happen.
Right.
Come on in, baby. I've earned this.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. It look good though, girl.
It does.
Yes, honey.
You got them Oprah Winfrey
I
hair.
was just finna
You know,
say.
I have the MoNique layers
The
from Tommy
MoNique.
T.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
give it
okay.
to us. Uh-huh.
Right.
No, he's just saying it look real rich and
Right.
rich and moisture and look,
And I want
it
to
look
thank you for
healthy.
that because Tommy takes very good care of that.
He
So-
does. He's giving you that Diane Carroll look, honey, that Dominic
I want to
Devereaux.
thank you for that. But again, Tommy T gives it
Tommy
to me. and lets
T.
it look
Okay,
that way.
don't say nobody else.
Yo, when you look back on something like classic as that, like, the
Yes.
90s, like doing it for a long time, you guys had the opportunity to watch the landscape of comedy change.
Yes.
Did you like it more back then or do you like it now? It seems like it's so hard for y'all to do you in the climate that we in because everybody's so sensitive.
Well, for me, I loved what we had to go through. And what I mean by that, I was talking to some sisters that's fairly new in it, and they don't know about the traveling in your car for 23 hours to make $25 and you stand at a Motel 6. They can't even understand that, but that made us strong. That allowed us to be from the 90s, and now we're in 2019. So that's missing. That part of the road, that part of the, you wasn't worrying about a private jet or private yacht. You were just worried about being funny.
Yeah. Right.
So when we were coming up, we didn't know how Richard Pryor lived.
Right.
You didn't know how the funny people lived. You just knew they were funny.
Right.
So I think that's what's missing now is we're more concerned about the luxury and not so much the funny.
Right.
Gotcha. But what about like content? Like, you know, there's certain things that you could say even 5 years ago.
Oh, baby,
that you can't.
Yeah, it's
do.
real sensitive now.
We're going to say it.
Yeah, we say what we want to say because we OGs. We earned it.
We're going to say it.
Yeah.
But I think that's what comics are. I think we're the medicine to the universe. And the moment you begin to censor that that's tricky to me. It's like, that's what we do. A comedian says what you want to say, but you're too afraid to say it.
Right.
And now if you start censoring us saying, oh, well, I'm offended. Well, I'm offended because you said the sun, but you said the moon, but you said the ocean, but you said it becomes very sensitive, and now you're too afraid. So I say to the comics, be free when you hit that stage, baby.
Wait.
Well, you know, you said being free, MoNique, and y'all comics saying what y'all want to say. Now, recently, Tiffany Haddish forgot to say anything. And, you know, everybody's talking about the bomb. And has that ever happened to y'all or to you?
Absolutely.
Of course.
I got booed on the Apollo my first time. Why you saying it like that?
Okay, that
How was your first time?
that can stop your career.
It kept going.
But what they did was they took probably an audience when you did good, and they edited out the booing and put your audience where they were actually laughing and put behind me, and it made it look like I got a standing ovation, but I actually got booed. So.
No, my very show that I had and we've all experienced it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I did a show one night at a nightclub in Baltimore, right? Now, if you say it's a nightclub, I don't know. I can't understand why the Bible study would be there. Okay, so they had the Bible study at the nightclub.
They wasn't ready.
Now, when I first got started, baby, I was a cusser. All I was cuss.
What is your favorite curse word?
All of them.
Okay.
So before they brought you on stage, they had Bible study.
Oh, Lord.
You got to, it's packed. Okay? It's packed. The Bible study is going down. Then they bring me up. Well, the Christian sisters got to looking at me with
What they had on?
in their eyes.
What they had on?
But there were two sisters in the corner that had about 3 glasses of dark liquor. And baby, it was me and them all night long. They were like, say it. Say it. God love your heart.
That's right.
So, yeah,
What did the church people have on in the club?
they had on church things. But I was so excited to be performing.
Right.
You don't even.
So you was on 100.
Baby,
You was waiting for the opportunity.
Okay, I was past 100. And for those Christian sisters that are still with us, they will probably say, I remember when that baby first got started. We had to pray over her. Yeah.
So did they start booing or they walked
They
out?
didn't start booing. I'm going to tell you what's worse than booing.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, but at least they give you something to work with when they
said
booing.
Nothing. They was like this.
Next.
You never told me
I'm
about
going
that.
to do my time
What
and get my $25.
Right.
Because that's what I signed up for.
Now, how long was your set?
Oh, it was too long.
Even 5 minutes probably felt like 30.
That first 7 minutes, I didn't realize. This wasn't, but
So MoNique, you went through all your material. You didn't care.
because the two sisters in the corner, they could appreciate the comedy style and MoNique. So
I really need to know the details.
I
So
gave
the
it to
two sisters in the corner that was egging you on.
Yes.
What was they drinking?
all of it.
And what was they saying?
God know your heart.
That's right.
God know your heart. You tell them. Yes, baby. Yeah. And I've always always appreciated those sisters.
Oh, my God.
that come to the shows.
Yeah.
I've always appreciated those sisters that had a little too much, but they still right there with you.
Right.
And they want to talk what you're doing the show. They ain't trying to be offensive. They ain't trying to stop the show. They just got something on their heart. And they will bust out MoNique. I'll be like, ma'am, I just wanted to say hi to you, baby.
my God.
Yeah.
That's the funniest story I've heard in years.
Yes, baby.
It said, God knows your heart. Go
God knows
ahead.
your heart, yes.
Now, early in the game, MoNique, you were aggressive against the skinny chicks.
Yeah.
You damn near won yourself now. Do you still ride for the big girls, or like once you go full blown team skinny, you going at the big girls?
You know what's okay, Brad. So, I went to this because it made me say to myself, because right now I am still between 198 and 210. Okay?
Right.
I still teeter. Now, in American society, that is still a big woman. If I was an MMA fighter, I'd be a heavyweight, right? If I was a regular boxer, I'd be a super heavyweight. So I'm still a big woman, but it makes me say, how big was I? I'm with you. How big was I that now they look at me and say, you're skinny? Well, damn, is all I can say. Well, damn, I watched a couple of episodes of The Park.
Yes.
And I watched when Nikki would be walking away. I said, well, damn. Nikki had all that love.
Yes, she did.
You are getting it though, and we see your videos online, especially with you like doing the dance routines.
Yes.
You'll be keeping up, like you know,
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
you'll see people who are in shape not
Right.
able to keep up.
Well, I think what people fail to realize is, head crack, I'm a dancer. And no one
All
wants to
right,
be-
baby.
All right.
Did you just go for it?
I'm a dancer.
I'm a dancer,
Okay?
darling.
I've trained Alvin Ailey Johnson. I've trained with those people, and
Right.
no one wants to give me my credit.
Right.
I'm a dancer. And people give me some flowers. When I say, MoNique, you can keep up. Don't you know? I'm trained. I'm
Right.
I had no idea.
I didn't know.
I didn't know either.
You better, yeah.
I'm
If
a
you don't know, you
dancer.
better ask somebody.
Come on now, I'm a dancer.
All right, MoNique, tell us about the Las Vegas. Like, who would have knew?
Who would have knew?
Who would have knew?
You know,
Them sisters sitting in the back of the church, they knew.
come on.
I hope they
They
did.
knew.
They knew. You know, my husband, Sydney, and our attorney, Rickey Anderson,
Right.
and Tommy T,
Right.
from Tommy T's Comedy Club, they all got together along with SLS Hotel and said, let's make this happen.
Oh, wow.
So to have a residency.
Hold on, did something go out? Oh, yes, for radio.
Okay, sweetness.
They want every word.
What if I just hold it like this?
Oh,
And Mo, that's your
They gonna
camera,
Jill
too,
Scott
so
you,
play
don't
to
They
that
gonna
one
just-
sometime. Yes, you better
So,
smile
what
that
I'm
thing.
You ain't finna, you're not finna do Jill Scott, right?
Smile that thing.
All right, so you're gonna be in Las Vegas. So you have
Yes.
a what they call a residency.
Yes,
In Las
yes,
Vegas. Tell us about it. How did that come together?
Well, it came together. My husband, Sydney, who's also my manager,
Right.
our attorney, Rickey Anderson, and Tommy T, who owns Tommy T Comedy Club
Absolutely.
in Pleasanton, California.
Which I love, by the way, one of my favorite clubs.
It's Harpo's Juke Joint.
It
in
is.
Pleasanton.
That has got to be one of the livest comedy clubs in the country.
Yeah, baby, listen.
I come
okay?
down when I come down those steps and walk through that kitchen to
It's
get to
going
the
down.
stage.
It's
you-
going down.
I'm
It's
talking
going
about
down.
raw that's the best. That's every comedian's favorite comedy club in California. It's Tommy
They're
T's.
hanging off the rafters.
Absolutely.
They're
Right.
hanging over.
They
and
ready.
I had been doing Tommy T's Comedy Club. Like, I think I did it one time 6 times in a year.
Right.
And I'm like, Tommy, listen, nobody coming, baby. He said, MoNique, if you show up, they're going to show up. So then he and my husband began to talk, and he said, how would y'all feel about doing a residency in Las Vegas? And that's how that came about. And they negotiated the deal. We got together. We made it work. First day is January 11th.
That's
Wow.
what's up.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Thank
That's
you, my
what's
baby.
up.
Thank you.
'Cause it don't seem like we have a lot of options of things to do or people to see when we go to Vegas. I mean, George Wallace had a run out there. I think, occasionally they'll bring like
Yeah,
the
Rita
hip-hop guys
Rudner.
Every time I go, it's damn Celine Dion out there.
in. Oh, Mariah had a run too.
Yeah, but I
Elton
wasn't out there
John.
then when she ran that. I want to see some. I want to see some black
It's
folks.
exciting. It's exciting. It is. I remember when we went to Vegas, we were doing the Queens of Comedy. The Queens of Comedy went to Vegas, and then I think I went to Vegas one time individually. And Vegas is magic. It's the fantasy. When you come to Vegas, baby, you can be anything you want to be, do anybody you choose.
That's
You know,
right.
Vegas is something different, but it's magic.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm excited about it because being on that road, being in those comedy clubs, it prepares you for what it does. You don't know, but it just prepares you.
Right.
That's why I tell comedians, don't stop doing what you do,
Right.
because it always keeps you ready.
It's training.
What's the longest break you
Yes.
ever took?
Yeah.
The longest break I've ever taken was when I was 5 months pregnant, and I had to come off. I had to stop until I had the babies. That was the longest break I've ever taken from doing stand-up.
Yeah, those comedy clubs make you just a raw comic. So I don't care what situation you end up in, you know how to, come out of it.
And I'm going to tell y'all something with this residency. See, this is how we do ours differently. I don't know if they do bus trips to see Celine Dion. I don't know if they get together and say we're going to run a bus trip, but y'all know how we do it in our neighborhood.
yeah.
Right.
We run bus trips.
Yes.
So if you're 5 hours in a bus, come on, run your bus trip. If you got a plane trip it.
Right.
But come on down, because it's a different kind of thing. It's something different. It's going to be something different.
I'm coming.
Come on, Ricky.
That's gonna be
Right,
fun.
we're going.
We going.
I mean, because
We're
you're gonna be
going.
out there almost the whole January 11th through February 28th. That is
Actually,
a
that's
run.
been changed.
Uh-oh, now.
It starts January 11th, and they said, MoNique, as long as you want to show up, is as long as we'll have you.
Oh,
Wow.
That's what's
So
up.
we're really excited. And to the SLS Hotel, we say kudos to you, because to be the first black female comedian in the history of Las Vegas to have a residency, that says a lot about the SLS.
I love the
Yeah.
SLS.
That says a lot
So
about
nice.
the SLS. So really excited, y'all. It's going to be a great time. And
So are
just,
you going to add like some, I know you know, more than just stand-up comedy. You're going to do some dancing. You're going to get them,
I'ma
She
tell you
ain't, she ain't gonna
something.
tell us. She ain't gonna tell us.
I'm going to tell you, Brat.
Okay.
I'm that kind of comedian. I'm going to tell you, because I shares with Brat. You can't share with everybody. I'm going to share with you. Can't tell Gary certain things. You can't do it. You can't do it. You know what kind of comedian I am? Give me a microphone and a light
And you turn
and
it
say,
on.
let's go.
Yes, that's
You know,
right.
when I've watched the greats, and when I've watched Richard Pryor, and I've watched Red Fox, and I've watched Eddie Murphy and LaWanda Page and Moms Mabley, and you watch these great legends, it was a microphone, baby. And in my humble opinion, that's what made them great. They didn't need, there was nothing else needed.
This is true.
Was that microphone and the people in front of them. So I'm grateful to be taught by the legends. Though they didn't even know they were teaching us, they
Right.
were teaching us.
wow.
Damn, that's impactful. And the fact that you guys got to see them all, like y'all lived in a time of Red Fox, y'all
They
lived in a
live-
time of Richard
That's
Pryor.
all in?
Well, let Head Crack have his moment.
Yeah, 'cause you making that-
No, you talking about like in the era.
Yeah, like
Right,
you
in
got a
the
chance
era.
to like you at least
Yeah,
got
we-
a chance to see some of his live performances, even if it was like
Richard
on tape.
Pryor, Eddie Murphy. Well, we still can see Red Fox on tape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I've never seen Red Fox live.
That old.
I wasn't trying to age you up now. No, but
Because
MoNique,
Gary was sitting at the Last Supper with Jesus watching the
So he mad
comedians.
about it. He
Yeah,
was
yeah,
mad
I
about
know they
it.
ain't that old.
Before Christ.
he was there when they added sound to film and colorized and everything. But like MoNique, I think one of the dopest things that like part of your queendom isn't necessarily everything that you've done off stage. It's the things that you also do off stage. Like you don't always go in the flow of popular opinion, and you stand on your own too about what's right. You felt like the Netflix deal was a certain way. You was like, Roseanne. When everybody was turning their back on Roseanne, you came out of the shrubs and was like, hey, no, I rock with Roseanne. This is not who she really is.
Yes.
Now we have a new person that people are throwing rocks at on the pedestal, R. Kelly. I don't know if you ever had a chance to meet him, but do you separate his art from who he is?
Well, his art is his art, but he is who he is. You know, it's. I remember when all the things were going down with Bill Cosby. Well, we couldn't take away his talent, even though he's done what he's done. You can't erase the talent. So no, you can't erase the talent, but you can't erase what he's done either. So I don't think it washes it out because he's still talented.
But it seems like that's what society tries to do. Like when he got in trouble, all of a sudden, no one's showing the Cosby Show for
Yeah.
like a certain amount of time. They're trying to pull R. Kelly's music off of streaming services because of what happened. But the art is the art, and we appreciate the art for what it is. yeah, he did these bad things, but you can't change history and act like none of this stuff ever happened.
Right, we can't
as far as
change
like the
history.
artistic.
But I think oftentimes what happens with us culturally, we'll know it's wrong, and we'll turn our back. See, culturally, we've been taught what happens in this house stays in this house.
Right.
So we'll know that something is not right, but we'll say, hey, that ain't my business.
Right.
So when you start asking me about these people, you know, yes, you got to deal with the consequence of what you've done. You must. But no, you can't take away the brilliance of the talent. You can't. But you got to deal with the consequence. But then when do we take responsibility as well to say, I knew something was wrong, but I ain't want to mess with my paycheck. I knew something wasn't right. And this is in a lot of situations. So again, when you say, how do you can't erase the talent.
Right.
You can't. But then you can't overlook what's happening either. And
Right.
oftentimes we overlook and we keep overlooking till we get to this devastating point right here.
Right. So, MoNique, would you ever host the Oscars?
No.
You're an Oscar winner.
Okay.
I'm just asking why.
I felt the coldness come across.
No, just a question.
She wanted to say, nigga.
Yeah, teach us.
Warm into it.
Right, teach us.
You know, when I won that Oscar, every radio program I went on, every TV program I went on. Now, before I won that Oscar, I had won like maybe 5 Image Awards, and that's an honor. Not one radio personality ever asked me, what is it like to be an NAACP Image Award winner?
Oh, wow.
Not one, and y'all look like me.
Right.
No one ever said, how does that feel? No one's ever said, MoNique, would you want to host the Image Awards?
Oh, wow.
See, I was just asked the other day when I did an interview, MoNique, would you host the Oscars? And I said, no. And she said, oh. I said, but if you ask me about the Image Award, baby, soon as they ask me, I'm signing up. And she said, you would host the Image Award over the Oscars? And this is a black woman that I
feel
was
you.
talking to.
I feel you.
And I said, sister, we're so conditioned to believe we're not enough.
Right.
That you can't understand why I would be more honored to host the Image Award than the Oscar.
It was just an honor just to be there. I was there when you won one time, and it was just an honor to be there. It was like, I think Bill Clinton was there that year. And,
At the Image Awards?
NAACP.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had just left office.
So let me be clear so I can answer, because I didn't want it to come off cold if it did.
Right.
See, coming up
It's
when
just
I
the
watch.
look. The look.
Okay, let me. Coming up, when I watched the Oscars, I didn't see people that looked like me come to that stage. So I turned it off. It wasn't anything that was impressive.
We still don't watch it like that because of that.
Exactly.
We DVR'd and go to Regina King and we full
and we
fast
watched that part, and that's
right.
it.
That's right.
Now we're still though in that mindset. Would you host the Oscars? No, baby, that's not something I'm interested in doing. But if the Image Award call a sister up, oh, let's go have some fun.
Well, I hope they call you.
Me
because
too,
I
I
would
just
love
said
to
that.
see you host it.
That's
I would
amazing.
absolutely love to see you host it. You can come on this show and blow it up, and we will all be watching.
And I'll host it if it makes sense. Okay, let me backtrack with that. Right, girl.
right.
Girl, you looked at me like, okay, now.
You gotta make-
call.
Right. Hey, MoNique, thank you for coming by. And why you making that face? She don't ever act right. Y'all give it up and show your love for the one and only MoNique, y'all. NAACP Image Award winning MoNique.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Classically trained dancer.
Dancer.
No, you have to say it right,
Dancer.
darling.
Dancer.
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 Dancer.